Hello everyone, this is part 8 of What If Naruto Learned the Secret of Shadow Clone, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Life for Naruto was good and back to normal for the most part. His team had returned to their home village, victorious and getting more than a few odd looks from Tsunade. But they were back in training daily while waiting on the next mission. Kakashi-sensei had expressly forbidden him from working on any more explosives for the time being, which was fine for him. He had 2 new projects to work on anyway. Between their nature manipulation training and his own seal practice, explosions could take a back seat for a little while. So he, Sasuke and Sakura trained and hung out often. Something he wouldn't be complaining about. Maybe getting out of the village had been a good thing for him after all. However, today as their training was ending, a raven carrying a scroll landed on Kakashi-sensei's outstretched arm and paused training for them all. Curious, the genin watched as Kakashi took the note from the bird's leg and let it fly off, reading the note quietly. Watching his eyebrows raise, all 3 of them were now very interested in what was going on. Naruto, report to the Hokage. Kakashi tucked the note into a pouch. Sakura and Sasuke looked at the boy for a minute, before Ryo notes started to come out. I didn't do anything. Sakura looked at Sasuke and completely ignored the boy. 20 says he blew something up. Sasuke shook his head. Nah, it's gotta be some prank he pulled. I haven't pulled a prank in months. Sakura slapped the Ryo into the other boy's hand. You know him, he's always experimenting, even when sensei tells him to quit. He had to blow something up for Hokage-sama to summon him. Sasuke slapped his 20 on top of hers, except he's been working on his scrolls all this time, even gave his word he wouldn't blow anything up in the village. Exactly, in the village, who says he isn't sneaking out? Hello, I'm right here? Why are you placing bets on me in the first place? Kakashi sighed and walked forward. Go on Naruto, go see what the Hokage wants. Watching the boy grumble and walk away with his hands in his pockets, the older nin turned to his other 2 students. That wasn't very nice. He likes it. Sakura was bold enough to maintain eye contact with her sensei. Sasuke nodded, it's our thing. Kakashi nodded, 20 says you're both wrong. I can still hear you lot. Sakura pocketed Kakashi's Ryo, deal. Naruto grumbled the whole way, I didn't do anything this time, damn it. Taking to the rooftops, he made easy time to the Hokage tower. Taking the stairs with another grumble, he idly checked his pockets and made sure everything was in place. Being paranoid was starting to pay off for him, might as well keep it up. He still hadn't tried out the seals yet, but he figured it wasn't an emergency. Plus he should try one a little closer to home first, lest he end up interdimensional paste. Seeing and waving to Shizune, the blonde found the energy to smile. Hey Nei-chan, what did I do? Shizune shook her head at the blonde. Nothing Naruto-kun. I can't say, but this is important for you. We have someone to wait for. Might as well take a seat. Naruto did just that, bringing out a notebook and picking up where he left off. The slow-down bomb he had put together worked, but now he needed to condense it down. Maybe he could inscribe it all onto a special kunai? Oh, just wait Orochimaru, the Uzumaki was coming for you soon. Shizune did her best to ignore the dark chuckle the boy let loose as he scribbled in his book. Growing up around legendary ninja, she was rather used to it, just not in Once a Young. It was creepy. From the hallway Shikamaru walked in looking as bored as ever. Yo Naruto. Naruto looked up. Hey Shikamaru, what's up? Putting his work away he stood and approached the other boy. Got a summons? Guess you did too? Yup. Wonder what it's about. Shizune stood and opened the door. Now that you're both here, why don't you go and find out? Letting the boys inside, she closed the door and went back to her work. Naruto and Shikamaru walked into the sight of Tsunade being nearly buried under a mountain of paperwork. Grumbling and signing away, Shikamaru tried coughing to gain her attention. Though with that not working, Naruto took deep breath. Cupping his mouth with his hands, he nearly missed the senbon that tried to skewer him. Dodging aside at the last second, Naruto had his hands on his hips. You could acknowledge us at least. I'm busy, brat. Be patient. Responding without looking at him, Tsunade reached down and pulled free a Chunin flak jacket. Only one. I've had time to review the Chunin exam notes and recommendations from various instructors and proctors. Shikamaru Nara, you've been promoted to the rank of Chunin. You've been found capable of leading a team due to skill and ability. Tossing the boy the uniform apparel, she sighed, report back to your sensei. From time to time you may be required to perform missions on your own or with different teams. However, Team 10 is your main team. Sighed and bemoaning the extra work, Shikamaru nodded, thank you for the honor, Hokage-sama. Putting the jacket on and waiting, his gaze landed on Naruto. You supposed to be a witness then? Tsunade sighed then, signing the last sheet she needed to. For now, Naruto in my opinion has reached the rank of Chunin as well. Excellent battle strategy along with field tactics and abilities. Never mind the raw talent to protect the entire village during an invasion. However, there's been a snag. Standing and grabbing her green jacket from the back of her chair, she motioned to Naruto, we need to have a word with the council about your promotion. So let's go, Nara, you have your orders don't you? Raising an eyebrow, the young Chunin took the hint and excused himself while giving Naruto a quiet congratulations as well. Naruto nodded, bumping fists with the lazy dude for a moment before turning back to the Hokage. I get the feeling I'm not going to like this. Tsunade nodded as she walked around her desk, I don't either. It's rare for the council to get involved with the promotion of any ninja. The last time I think it happened was with Anko's special Jonin status, and that was because Orochimaru trained her. They thought her a flight risk. Naruto walked with her out of her office, his hands at his side, so what, all my senseis are super loyal to the leaf. I literally tried to blow up Orochimaru, twice. Beats me kid, but we'll be finding out soon. Walking down through the Hokage tower, then into the antechamber before the council room, Tsunade turned to the boy. Some advice, Naruto. Naruto looked up to her quietly, for once catching on that she was being completely serious with him. I know you have some idea that the council doesn't like you, for multiple reasons. Do your best to keep calm, don't get angry no matter what. And don't agree to anything without thinking it through as best you can. Once inside I cannot help you, do you understand? Naruto nodded, again touched that she was willing to give him advice or help him at all. I got it, Bar-chan. Brat. Smiling, she led the way and walked inside to a noisy room, Naruto behind her. The noise level died down as the chamber noticed not only the Hokage was present, but the current ticket for the day as well. Walking around and taking her seat at the head of the chamber, Tsunade sighed, well, you wanted this prospective Chunin here to question him about his conduct, let's get started. The Shinobi Council was made up of the heads of all of the village's prominent ninja clans, along with several influential merchant and banking members and also the elder council members. Naruto could recognize Kiba's mom and Hinata's dad purely from the facial features. But others he could not recognize at all. The merchants and bankers did not look happy to see him at all as well. Sitting below the Hokage, the elder group consisting of Danzo, Homura, and Koharu started the meeting off. Danzo was the one who stood first. This meeting is being brought to the floor to decide whether to approve or deny Genin Uzumaki to the rank of Chunin. The floor is open for debate. Suminazuka frowned and leaned back. This is foolish. Since when do we care about promotions? The kid trounced that Hyuga didn't he? That's Chunin level enough for me. The head of the Nara clan, Shikaku nodded along. This is most unusual for the council to get involved with this. Uzumaki Naruto also was instrumental in the defense of the village itself. What logic do we have to deny his promotion? Homura now stood. There's the question of all of his conduct before becoming a genin to start with. A known prankster and troublemaker. And apparently a bit of a thief as well. Frowning but making no move to say anything, Naruto watched as the older Choji looked down on him. Do we look at any of the misdeeds of our children once they become genin and ninja of our village? 1 No, my own son was a bit of a roughhouser in the academy. But once that headband touches their foreheads, they become loyal and dedicated soldiers. Should we punish them for being children? One of the merchant guild members slammed a hand down on the table. We aren't just talking about playful pranks here. We're talking actual material theft. Businesses have reported vandalism and major losses. How can we trust this boy with more responsibility? Naruto wanted to take note that the council members said the word boy much like a curse. As if that was the last thing he wanted to call him. Homura picked up a sheet of paper. I do have here a list of complaints dating back years involving Uzumaki-kun. And a list of businesses affected and funds distributed from the Uzumaki clan holdings to cover damages. Putting the sheet of paper down and staring at the boy now for the first time, Homura sighed. Do you have anything to say about these incidents? Naruto did his absolute best to remain calm. I was never made aware I did anything to anyone that required taking money from my clan's vault or holdings. Nor was I even aware I did such harm to anyone. I was an orphan, and homeless for a time. I dumpster dived, or scrounged for food, but never, ever, stole. The guild member pointed at the boy now, but that's an admission. You admit to stealing and not paying others for their possessions. Naruto twitched but did nothing else. Eyes now locked on Tsunade. Danzo sighed. It could be said that doing what was necessary to survive would not count as stealing. He was a boy left to his own devices. We had many war orphans at the time as well. Would we punish all of them for doing what they had to? Hiyashi Hugakov to gain everyone's attention. While I have had no interactions with the boy myself, both my daughter and my nephew speak highly of him. One with admiration while the other with grudging respect. Looking down on Naruto, the boy couldn't really make out the emotion on the man's poker face. You speak of thefts and damage, and yet that was all in the past. We return to the issue that since making genin and taking missions for the village, he has done nothing but good for us and shown proper respect and loyalty to the village. It was Koharu now to stood, taking the place of Homura, be that as it may. History shows us the path of the future in many ways. While the ninja side of the council is quick to discount his previous misdeeds, what sort of example would we be showing by allowing a known troublemaker to raise his rank so quickly? We are not denying he may be promoted at a later time, but this was extraordinarily quick. Under extraordinary circumstances as well. Coughing, Sum interrupted the elder. I'm sorry, I seem to remember just about all of us had our troublemaker years. It's part and parcel of what makes us great leaders. We know the kind of shit ninja can really get into. Sighing and waving at the boy, Sum thought of her own son. It'd be foolish to reap the rewards of his actions, only to deny him something as simple as a rank promotion. Koharu nodded. Possibly, however there is one last issue to bring forth. Picking up another sheet and looking it over, she looked directly at the boy in question. Did you, or did you not let the demon container from the Sand Village retreat from the invasion? All of the council members began to murmur, not sure where this was going. Naruto thought hard about it, but couldn't see a reason why he would lie about it. He had gotten the order from Kakashi after all. Kakashi-sensei gave the order, so yeah, I let him go. Koharu nodded. Did your sensei actually give the order, or was there a proxy? Thinking back, he was now starting to get worried. Well yeah, it was during the invasion and he was in the village. He relayed the order through his summon. And are you sure the summon was your Jonin sensei's and not one of the Sound or Sand's? Well, Pakken is my sensei's summon. And you're absolutely sure it wasn't under a transformation or genjutsu, or that you weren't under a genjutsu? Koharu put down the paper and got to her point. The problem is that you let a major key to the enemy invasion go, giving them a chance to regroup and possibly attack us again. You were also in the company of one of the Leaf's greatest traitors, Orochimaru, and lived to tell about it. Not once, but twice? That's very odd behavior for a genin. Here she paused to look around the room before settling back on the obviously angry boy, unless of course you were convinced by him to follow his lead. I would never. The rage that instantly filled the boy nearly caused him to tap into the QB. That they would accuse him of working with that snake cut something deep inside of him. Homura stood. Be silent, boy. Raise your tone again and we'll do more than deny your promotion. Shikaku cleared his throat. Elders, you are accusing one of our ninja, a very loyal one at that, of treason. Koharu shook her head. Not at all, just that there are many questions that need to be answered. That Uzumaki-san has improved so quickly ahead of his peers, been in contact with multiple legendary ninja, one of which was a traitor, and let another agent of our invasion go, it does not bode well and casts doubt on his character. Homura nodded. It is that doubt that makes us believe setting him back at least another year to observe him would be best. What is 1 year going to hurt after all? If he is a loyal leaf nin, he'll still be here and doing his best after all. And if not, no one mentioned what would happen if he was found wanting. Naruto was visibly shaking, but was heeding Tsunade's words, remaining silent as best as he could. Danzo now spoke up, I'm firmly against holding him back, there is no proof of the accusations after all, just circumstance. Hiashi sighed, the council however must consider all angles, and with the current information, there is in fact doubt. Ever a follower of rules, Hiashi did not take the elders' side from personal interest, but procedural. Chose a side, sure there may be doubt, but come on, the kid used a major kinjutsu in order to save the entire village. It nearly killed him, no traitor would do that. Shikaku sighed, unless it was merely a ruse to gain our trust. Hearing gasps, Shikaku shook his head, make no mistake, I don't agree at all, but I have to look at it from the elders' perspective as well. Tsunade now stood, silencing everyone, we need a vote, as Hokage I've already been overruled and must abstain from voting. A show of hands for Uzumaki Naruto's promotion. Danzo, Tsume, Shikaku, Choza and Inoiki all raised their hands. Before lowering them once counted. And against ? All of the merchant and banking members raised their hands, along with Homura and Koharu, and Hiashi. Sighing Tsunade nodded, that's 8 against, Genin Uzumaki will remain as such until the next exams. Looking at Naruto with what she hoped was a concerned look, she nodded, Genin Uzumaki, you are dismissed. Voice barely above a growl, Naruto nodded, yes, Hokage-sama. Turning smartly, the boy was out of the council doors within a few breaths. Danzo sighed as he eyed his fellow council members, that was not a wise thing to do. Homura shrugged, better that than the alternative. From there the council continued with other matters, though a few members left for other duties as it was more civilian duties than ninja affairs. One such member to leave was Danzo, one specific goal in mind. Outside and already making his way down the street, Naruto was a ball of anger. While he would never claim to be the smartest ninja, it was plain enough to see that some of the council had just admitted to his face to stealing from his clan and using excuses from bigoted shop owners to get away with it. That meant most likely anything that may have been left of his clan was long gone. That did not sit well with him, but there wasn't anything he could do about it. Groaning and pausing for a moment, leaning against the railing of a footbridge over a small creek, the boy wished more than anything he could get some useful advice right now. Because right now he was considering walking back into the council chambers and threatening them with a version 3. Almost unnoticed to the boy, Danzo had caught up with him, a kinder smile on his face, well that could have gone better don't you think, young Uzumaki ? Danzo was not Sarutobi, but he could fake it well enough. Scoffing Naruto crossed his arms, they weren't looking to promote me from the start, just wanted to make excuses and gloat to my face. Looking up at the bandaged man, Naruto frowned, why were you willing to promote me ? Danzo took a moment to look around the village sprawl, a carefully crafted smile on his face, look around you Naruto. All of this right now is possible because of you. You saved them, all of them. That was a feat worth recognition. I believe that, though my contemporaries do not agree. Well, it's nice to have someone on my side. It was odd to see a kinder smile on this man's face. He seemed to genuinely care about the village. I believe in what is best for Konoha, and I believe you are part of the future. Seeing he had the boy's attention, Danzo reached into the folds of his kimono and retrieved a book, for you, saved from the council vault. Handing it to the boy, Naruto was quick to see the bright red swirl of the Uzumaki clan on the front. Thank you for this. Was this another adult stepping in to help him when none of the others would ? He was a council member, but had been the loudest in defending him. I didn't get your name. Danzo was grinning mentally as the boy took the bait, I am Danzo, young Uzumaki. I think we could be great friends in the future. Start slow and rake him in. He'd have him at his beck and call in little time. Saying goodbye Danzo turned and walked back to the tower, he had other work to complete today. Naruto did the same, angling back home to look this new book over. Though as he was walking he was caught up with curiosity and taking to the back alleys Naruto began flipping through the book as he walked. This wasn't one of his mother's, that much was sure straight from the beginning. The seals it introduced were real, he'd seen some of them before, but something about it was nagging him. The writing was way different from his mom. So maybe another clansman ? Flipping through the pages, note after note and scrawled texts he almost couldn't read. It was as he reached the middle of the book things started to dawn on him. This book was a fake. All of the Uzumaki books and scrolls had bits and pieces of the author within its pages. Idle seals, doodles, a certain way they wrote or spoke that bled through on the seals. This, however, was missing that, like someone was in a hurry and copied what they could and put it down on paper. And as he looked further, he noticed it was missing most of the Uzumaki markings along the page borders, along with at the cover and backing of the book. It did, however, have other seals scrawled there instead, some of which he didn't recognize, but a few he did. Each had to do with either listening or copying scrolls within its location. Well, that settled that. Danzo was a piece of shit as well then. Taking out a blank scroll and sealing the book away, he considered tossing the scroll away in the garbage. That would, however, clue Danzo into the fact that he knew he was being played, and that wouldn't help him right now. Being paranoid and sealing that scroll within another storage scroll, Naruto decided he needed a different set of minds, maybe two individuals he knew he could trust. But that was for tomorrow. Tonight he was tired and emotionally drained. Screw the rest of this day. He'd go and get ramen and try again tomorrow. If tomorrow was just as shitty, he'd really consider blowing something up. B. The next day found Team 7 finishing drills and splitting up for the day, each of the members giving Naruto words of encouragement after they heard about his denied promotion and the interference of the council. This left Naruto alone for a bit, but he decided to stay at the grounds and train, creating clones with one purpose today, more elemental training. While he himself was working on his own personal seal, another copy of the two he had given Kyuki. No time like the present to try it out. Producing 3 of them in relatively quick order before adding a different one to his left arm, he thought about any insurance he could add to this. Thinking about it, he nodded before completing the necessary hand signs and summoning his toad friend Gamakichi. Yo. Hey bro. Got any candy for me ? Laughing, Naruto reached into a pocket and produced a few pieces, just a bit. I don't need anything crazy today, just for you to hang on. After his friend took them, he tossed the seal paper in 3 corners of the training ground. Oh ? No crazy explosions ? Even still, the small toad hopped up and into his hair. Nope, not today. Just need you to hang on to me. Just in case this seal goes wrong and we need to summon back home. That sounds dangerous. Sorta. Feeling out for the connection between the seal now on his arm and the seals he tossed away, he mental linked them and prepared for the worst. The sense of vertigo before the seal kicked in and suddenly he was across the field. It was like a kawarimi, only hyped up to like 11. The chakra drain wasn't anything to sneeze at either, he actually felt that one. Whoa, that felt like being summoned. What did you do ? Naruto was grinning, figured out a way to summon myself from one point to another. Oh, this had lots of potential, now only to refine it and try to bring down the chakra usage. Reaching out and feeling for the seals, he could indeed feel the 2 he had given Kyuki. Though he must have done something wrong, because he could feel a lot more seals in other places. Those connections were faint, however, so it had to be some error with his work. Gamakichi hopped away. I think I've heard of another human doing this before, I'd have to check with my pops though. Naruto nodded. It'd help me out if you could. But that was all I needed, unless you wanna hang out. Gamakichi saluted. Sorry bro, not today, got some stuff I gotta do for once. Maybe tomorrow ? Getting an agreement, Gamakichi summoned himself and left the chuckling Uzumaki to his thoughts. Collecting the seals and thinking it over, he had one more thing to do then to complete his idea. Making the Rasengan throw able, and then add nature manipulation. Though his thoughts were interrupted as he heard arguing behind him. I'm telling you Hinata, he's here. Ah, that was Ino Haim's voice. And sure enough he saw them both break through the cover. Hey girls, what's up ? Hinata was the first to come forward, jacket as usual now open and sporting a crop top that showed off a small amount of midriff. Now, I wanted to come and make sure you were okay, Naruto-kun. I heard from my father about the council's decision. Ino stepped forward as well. It's bullshit is what it is. You saved the village, how the hell could they not promote you for that ? Naruto sighed but shrugged. Doesn't matter. They decided not to, and like my team said, we can always go to the next exam. We were rookies anyway. He was still upset over it, but he wouldn't let that anger cloud his time with these two. Wanna train? Both girls nodded, knowing this was Naruto's preferred method of therapy when thinking or upset. Hinata was already shucking her coat and stretching out to begin their sparring soon, most likely with Naruto first. What are you working on today, Naruto-kun? While she could only be so bold with the boy in Ino's presence, she was still working on it. Ino herself was stretching in a much more provocative manner, though Naruto did his best to ignore it. I'm actually working on a way to throw a technique of mine, but I'm coming up blank. It's not the type of thing I can just add a seal to. Ino nodded. What kind of technique? Watching as the boy held up a hand and produced the swirling ball of chakra that was the Rasengan, the girl admired the swirling mass of color. How'd you do that? Naruto dispelled the technique, bouncing from foot to foot as he got ready to get blasted by Hinata, its shape manipulation and raw chakra. Really dense, could grind through just about anything really. But the second my link breaks with it, the form starts to dissolve. Hands coming up in a ready stance, Hinata smirked and came forward. The spar was on. Ino thought about it while she watched the two go at it, wondering about that for a minute. A technique that was purely chakra, but he wanted to be able to throw it long distance. Playing with her hair, she couldn't think of a way to do that. If he could stay connected to it longer, that would help. Bending over and touching her toes, the girl's hair swayed in front of her eyes. What about chakra wire? Naruto deftly avoided a juken to the shoulder before trying to jab forward himself in response. A hair too slow, he lost a few tenketsu in his hand for his error, not durable enough, and they don't stick properly to the technique's shell. Hinata was panting as she dodged and weaved between Naruto's attacks. Much more flexible than either of her friends, she bent backwards at the waist to avoid a roundhouse from him. Have you tried chakra thread? Chakra thread? Ino was now curious, she hadn't heard of that one. Hinata nodded after completing her backflip and dodged a few times away from her crush. She did take a foot to the gut for being a hair slower than she should. Sand ninja use it for their puppets. It allows them to control the puppet from long distances. She had been looking into chakra thread for her own idea for a barrier technique. Though it might be a long time before she could pull it off. Her reserves still rather low. Catching her breath and weaving to the side, she disabled several points in Naruto's outstretched arm. Naruto, however, was already forcing the Kyuubi's chakra to reopen the points while he thought about that. Chakra thread? If he made the Rasengan, and then attached thread to it, would that help? It wasn't a puppet, but he also wasn't looking to fully control it, just maintain its shape. And chakra thread would be made up of his chakra, so the Rasengan wouldn't be disrupted by this. That might be the way to go. I'll give that a go, after I learn how to even use the chakra thread technique. Hinata smiled. I've actually been reading up on the ability, Naruto-kun, if you'd like to practice with me? Backing away and stepping out of her stance, she got the feeling this might be more important than getting crushed by the boy in a fight. Naruto agreed, because he wasn't looking forward to Hinata wiping the floor with him, again. Sure, that would help me out a lot. Ino sighed. Well, while you bookworms read, could you make me a few clones for target practice? I'm trying to get better with Senbon at the moment. Creating the clones, a wide-eyed Naruto sent the 24 off to listen to the girl's every whim. Did you get a chance to talk to Shizune-chan? Ino nodded. Sure did. Gave me a lot of advice too, really worth it. But now I gotta practice. Filling her hands with the thin weapons, a sadistic grin had all of the clones running for their lives. Behind them, Naruto and Hinata sighed while they watched Ino take off after them. She's insane. I can't disagree with you, Naruto-kun. The rest of the evening went by fast for the trio, breaking up and heading to their own homes. Naruto was happy that both Hinata and Ino supported him and wished they could do something about the council, but he told them they weren't their parents. There wasn't much they could do. So after a full dinner and a full night's rest, Naruto was back at it in the morning. Training ground full of clones while he waited for his team, Naruto was ready for a new day. Sakura was the first to arrive just after the sun really started to rise into the sky. Slightly groggy, she set about starting a chakra control exercise while she waiting for Sasuke and their sensei. Not long later, however, was a groggy Sasuke who looked between the two before sighing and doing much the same as Sakura, balancing kunai on his chakra points in his hands to increase his control. They both were hard-pressed to keep pace with Naruto, Sakura most of all, but they would be damned if they didn't work just as hard as their friend. Naruto was working on the chakra threat technique with all of his clones, dead set on finishing this first. Their first business was to attach it to a kunai and then attempt to direct the kunai. Since his goal was to do this but with a Rasengan, that was the extent of the practice he wanted. He wasn't looking to be a puppeteer after all. Progress was slow but constant, clones dispelling as they made discoveries or breakthroughs. Naruto would freely admit training like this may kill him, but it was so useful to do it this way. He'd have to teach his friends the Kage Bushin one day soon. Sakura, however, finally had a question she had meant to ask a long time ago. Hey Naruto. Yeah, what's up Sakura-chan ? As much as you like explosions, why not the exploding clone technique? I'm sure you could learn it, like, right away. And Naruto nodded, sure, but where's the fun in that ? It's not artful or interesting at all. Plus, the Kage Bushin are hard to pick out from me just by looking at their chakra, but an exploding clone is recognizable. Would throw off my tactics. Sasuke smirked, your tactics boil down to, blow it up. And if it's still there, blow it up some more. And if it can't be blown up, stab it. Another Naruto was all grins, oh ye of little faith. You have to admit my explosions are great work. Maybe if you wanna get yourself blown up one day. Sakura was pulling no punches this morning. The real Naruto drooped his shoulders, or common, you know I wouldn't blow you guys up on purpose. That leaves accidents Naruto. Sakura was also helpful in pointing that out. Kakashi walked in on this scene, a dejected Naruto with a floating kunai fending off Sakura, who seemed to be trying to apologize while Sasuke was performing a handstand on the blunt end of two kunai buried in the dirt. Well, I see you're all as lively as ever. Good morning Kakashi-sensei. Sasuke righted himself, pocketing his weapons. Got anything for us today ? Kakashi smiled as eventually all of his students assembled before him. We do actually. Routine patrol, across the western border, nothing too crazy and shouldn't meet up with any tyrants or princesses. Seeing 'em all not moving the sensei side, you all have your packs already, don't you ? Naruto dipped his head, training with Kakashi-sensei 101, always be prepared and be a little paranoid. I don't think paranoid is the word. Sasuke nodded sagely, a paranoid ninja is a breathing ninja. Except from Kakashi-sensei training 101. I'm pretty sure I never said that. A paranoid ninja is a prepared ninja who can't be surprised as they are always prepared, even for the situations that one cannot prepare for. Sakura now joined in with a smile. I'm pretty sure that's impossible. Naruto pointed at their sensei, well let's get a move on, we have a border to secure. Maybe we'll get to take out some bandits, or maybe Rouge Ninja while we're away. The team made their way for the gate, everyone in high spirits. It's not even a full day job, we'll be back tomorrow morning at the latest. Please don't blow anything up while we're out ? We're still going to be in Land of Fire borders. We don't want to set the forest on fire. Naruto linked his hand behind his head, so sword and Rasengan it is. That's great, I can get some practice in. Sakura sighed, I'm pretty sure you just made it worse sensei. Kakashi nodded, I believe you're correct Sakura-chan. Naruto felt a tick build over his eyebrow, I'm right here you know. Poor Naruto, his team started taking bets on just what sort of chaos he would cause. I'm not that bad. Naruto was already grumbling as they bounded through the trees between the border of the Land of Fire and the lands of grass and waterfall. Things had been boring, and true to what Kakashi-sensei said, not much was out here for them. Apparently they were just an emergency fill-in for the last team that had to return for an emergency, and full team would be relieving them in the morning. This left Team 7 to get used to making random patterns and routes for patrols, while keeping an eye on the border itself. The imaginary line between the nations, marked with the occasional seal or physical mark in the trees. Naruto, however, was grumbling because Sakura was watching him like a hawk, somehow sure he would spontaneously combust if given the chance. Can we at least agree I need a target before blowing something up ? Sasuke was hopping along beside a bored Kakashi reading his orange book. You say that, except how many times did you try to blow or tour a question mark? That cat deserved it and everything bad that happens to it now and in the future. Sakura shook her head. I don't think you know the meaning of restraint. Naruto shrugged. Should I question mark explosions solve all problems? What if I was in debt question mark? There's no debt if there's no one to collect it. Protect kids from bullies question mark. Ever seen exploded bullies pick on little kids question mark? Childbirth question mark. Naruto paused finally, jumping along before finally snapping his finger. Low yield explosion in the mom question mark. That'd kill her. But the baby would be out. Problem solved. You can't kill the mom, Naruto. You didn't say I couldn't at first, so I'm considering it problem solved. Kakashi was suddenly ahead of them. Heads up, foreign team ahead, stay sharp but don't make any moves just yet. Team assuming formation behind their sensei, the Leaf Ninja angled right and made a beeline for a small clearing. That they were not far from the land of grass had them concerned, but the team of 5 ninja that they spotted waiting for them were calm at least. Headbands showing them as Earth Ninja, Kakashi was only a little confused on why they were so far from home. You seem to be lost, friends. Calling down from the trees, Team 7 would not be descending down onto the other group's home advantage. The lead nin, a stern-looking man in his 30s, had his arms crossed as he looked up at the Leaf team. So Konoha is using little kids to secure the border these days. That's good to know. We'd heard rumors that you've strengthened yourself, but obviously those were just rumors. Naruto leaned out to get a good look at the opposing team, subtly making ready to spam clones and pull Kubikiriboko free with a thought. His hair catching the light, there was a physical tremor that shook through the other team that all of the Leaf Ninja spotted. It's him. The Orange Maelstrom. He's just a kid question mark. A kid capable of wiping out villages. Naruto whispered back to his friends, what are they freaking out about question mark? Sasuke shook his head, can't make it out, something about orange. Naruto frowned, why does everyone rag on the greatest color ever? It's a gift from Kami. Sakura sighed, your sanity is a gift from Kami. Kakashi tilted his head finally as he could hear the other nin much better. Well, found what you're looking for question mark. The lead nin pointed a finger at the team. We're leaving for now, but be warned, we better not see any movements near our borders. Let's go, now. Jumping away in the opposite direction, all of the Leaf Genin were weirded out. What was that about Kakashi-sensei question mark? Naruto was the first to breach the question. Though Sakura and Sasuke were both interested as well. Deciding he had held this back long enough, he reached into a pouch and produced a clean and somewhat newer black book. The latest bingo book. Go to the section of Konoha nin. A rank. He handed the book to Naruto who began to flip through it, Sakura and Sasuke looking over his shoulder. Pages turning past multitudes of entries, he finally found the section for a rankers, and almost immediately found the newest listing that surprised them all. I'm in the bingo book. Sakura pointed at a section. Look, there's a picture of you during the Chunin exams, and then a picture of the glass crater. Sasuke sighed, of course someone would put you in the book for that. That is a scary thing for a single person to be able to do. Sasuke also considered that it was something completely insane and that no one should be able to do something like that. Naruto or anyone else. Naruto started to chuckle, which was sending shivers up and down his friend's spines. Sakura took matters into her own hands and smacked him in the head. What did I do question mark? You were doing the laugh. But, look at this. It's worth it, I'm in the bingo book. That's awesome. Kakashi pointed out the fun part, that also makes you a target now. Sasuke looked at another point, a target with a flee on sight order from anyone from Earth. The chuckles started back up again and Sakura turned to their sensei, is this our fault question mark? Did we create this question mark? Kakashi nodded, it might be, partially our fault. Their sensei directed them back to their patrol, quietly taking the book from Naruto. Remember, yes you have an entry, but if only means you've been recognized as a threat. You are still you, don't get carried away. Naruto nodded, of course. I figure the day I can take you on one-on-one is the day I'll consider getting Y. Naruto figured that was a long way away, but he'd keep training and learning all that he could. The team's patrol continued as they had before with no more encounters from other ninja or bandits, much to their disappointment. Eventually they decided to camp out on the trees as night began to fall, taking shifts so two of them could sleep while the other two kept watch of the section of border that they chose to watch over. First watch was Naruto and Sasuke. While both were sure Kakashi was only half asleep, ready to wake and fight at a moment's notice, they appreciated his trust all the same. Considering the darkness and their refusal to light a fire, eating cold ration bars and bottled water, they weren't left with much to do. Sasuke, however, did have a question. Are you still pissed about the council? Like really? Naruto nodded, of course. I'm sure those merchant pricks have been skimming my clan's money and possessions all this time and were just waiting to gloat about it. I guess me doing well in the exams was all they needed to feel like I needed to be put back in my place. Sasuke frowned. For what it's worth, I think you'd made a good chunin. You're my best friend, like a brother to me, you're supposed to think I'd be great. I'm trying to compliment you. I know, thanks. They lapsed into silence, listening to the forest around them and watching what stars they could between the tree cover. Sasuke. Yeah? You do want to rebuild your clan one day, right? Sasuke nodded, though he was sure Naruto couldn't completely see him. One day, yeah. I still want to defeat my brother first. But it's still my plan. What if the leaf wasn't the best place to do that? More silence. Naruto knew what he was hinting at, but considering the people he was with, they would understand his thought process, he hoped. Sasuke crossed his arms as he thought about that. Could he leave the Leaf Village, settle his clan somewhere outside of his home, build somewhere new? Doubtful. While a lot had happened to his friend, Konoha was home to him. Even with all its faults. But for Naruto that wasn't true. The village until recently never really welcomed Naruto. Was still actively stealing from him. Could Naruto ever have a real home there? I think. Much like your Nindo, sometimes you can't run away from a problem. You have to fight it, change it. The leaf has its faults, but it's our home. I don't think I could ever leave it. Naruto agreed, somewhat. I know what you mean. It'd feel too much like giving up. But sometimes, perhaps it was best not to fight a losing battle. Retreat, regroup, find a new angle of attack. Naruto wanted to rebuild his clan as well. Doubtful rebuilding Azushio would be a possibility. But a new Uzumaki clan? That'd be nice. The night continued, Naruto occasionally sending out clones on patrols of their own deep in his thoughts with all the silence of the night. He tried to work through them before being relieved by Kakashi-sensei and Sakura sometime around 2 a.m. There he tied himself to a tree and crashed asleep, the day longer than he thought it'd be and knowing he'd only get 4 to 5 hours worth of sleep before needing to get back up. Sure enough, the sun was rising over the horizon and Kakashi-sensei was waking him. Naruto, relief is here, time to go. Shaking the cobwebs of sleep from his mind, Naruto barely took in the sight of a nondescript Chunin team from Konoha before beginning to pack up his things. Situated in the trees as they were, there wasn't much, and he was soon bearing witness to Kakashi exchanging a scroll with the other team leader. Opening it to make sure it was correct, he nodded before directing the team to jump away, finally able to return home. Naruto was happy for the exercise and distraction, because his thoughts were beginning to turn dark. Looking ahead, the boy knew he wanted to rebuild his clan, and sure, maybe one day he could take a wife or two to help with that, but would Konoha let him do that? They already stole his previous clan's secrets and assets, would they just take anything of his again in the future? On flimsy reasoning? Would he even get that far? Sure, he shouldn't be worrying about it now, but he had nothing but time to worry at the moment. That worry was making him come to conclusions he didn't like. Maybe when he got back he could track down Iruka-sensei or Old Man Tuki. They were usually really good about giving out advice. It was around noon when they found themselves back within the village, the genin worn out and ready for bed. Kakashi waved the mission scroll at the team. Go on and go home, get some rest. No training tomorrow. We'll meet up in 2 days. Getting everyone's agreements, Kakashi jumped away. Sakura was already stumbling towards her home. I'm ready for my comfy bed and sleep. Yes, sleep. Sasuke nodded. You good? Naruto? You wanna come over for a bit? Sasuke wouldn't normally invite anyone to his house, but his team was steadily becoming very important to him. Naruto had trusted them, so maybe he could start trusting them a bit more. Naruto was smiling as he recognized that, maybe later, I wanna stop and get some ramen. Maybe after, even if I just wanna crash somewhere other than home. Thinking about it, Naruto realized that Sasuke was probably pretty used to being home alone as well. They'd have to start changing that soon. So waving his friend off, they separated for now, promising to meet up later at the Uchiha compound. Naruto then made a beeline for his favorite ramen stand. After the last few days that he had had, some good ramen and time with some of his favorite people would make a big difference to his mood. Maybe if he could catch Ino Haim and Hinata-chan too. Finally making it, he threw the shade out of the way. Hey there old man, I need a dozen bowls on the double. Laughing, Tsuki watched as the boy alighted upon a stool with a grin. Sure, Naruto, come and right up. Humming a tune, Naruto noticed two girls sitting at the end of the bar, both with shaggy red hair, though one had bright red eyes and the other brown. Both were wearing purple jackets, though no headbands that he could see. The brown-eyed girl, taller than him, and the other girl turned to face him. What up shithead, needs something ? Naruto snorted, you've got a mouth on you. Wanna find out what this mouth can do ? Tayuya-san, be nice. I am being nice Karen, don't you worry. Naruto wanted to laugh but just shook her head and held out a hand. Naruto Uzumaki, nice to meet ya. The aforementioned Tayuya grinned, maybe this wouldn't be so hard. Tayuya and Karen Uzumaki, nice to meet ya. Seeing the boy's eyes go wide, the grin widened. Didn't think we'd ever meet another Uzumaki ever again. Neither did Naruto, as his entire focus was now centered on the two next to him. Could they really be Uzumaki ? He wasn't sure, but he had time to figure it out, hopefully. Karen leaned forward to look at the boy. Wanna swap stories Uzumaki-san ? We've been all over the elemental nations looking for family. They would draw him in slowly over time. Orochimaru-sama had given him this task with no real time limit after all. They'd bring this boy back no matter what. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.